Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining this live podcast on all Quest channels YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all at the same time. I thank you so much for joining me. I'll be on very shortly. Get your questions ready to post, and we'll be with you very shortly for this live podcast today. Thank you very much, members, for being members. You guys are the best. See you in a couple of seconds. Bye-bye.
Hello, everybody, on Wednesday's Quest podcast here on March 8th, discussing last night's episode, Season 10, Episode 16, Striking Gold. Hello, everybody, and from Canada is Judy. Hello, Judy.
Hello, John. Hi, everybody. Good to be here, as always, and I'm looking forward to our discussions tonight.
Yep. Of course, I got to give everybody FaceTime, as we're about 5 minutes early or so. Hoping the people across the pond, Judy, can catch us for 5 minutes or 3 minutes before they hit the sack. You know what I mean?
I hope they can, too, John. I wish that we could have them full time.
Yep. Here we go. Hello, Jeff. Anthony S. Hello. Mary. Hello. BC's in the house. Beautiful Sydney. She can hear us both, Judy, so we got a green light to go. Hello, Henry.
Good. I haven't picked you up yet on Facebook.
That's all right. We're on. We are on.
Good.
And there's Ashley. And Gloria. And Aaron. Hello, Dave. He set the timer. He's in. Hello, Scott. People are starting to climb in, Judy.
Good. Welcome, everybody.
And Dave says, I got here on time today. That's okay, because me and Judy are on the internet for life. So whatever we post is on for life. Right, Judy?
You got her.
Hello, Carol. Hello, Tim. And we'll wait for more people to come in. Got a lot to talk about tonight. Always after a show, Judy, we always come up with 50 more questions. And again, no answers, but we come up with questions, though, Judy.
Yes, we do, John. Lots of those. Maybe someday we'll get an answer. Maybe.
Unbelievable. I just wanted to put that out there in the beginning of the post. I did change levels in the membership of YouTube. The cheapest level is $7.99 a month, which is only $4 more per month, or $5 more per month than the old night level was. So if you want to please rejoin, it's only $5 more per month, which is $2 a week. If you think we're worth $2 a week, please support. If not, I understand it's tough out there. But for $2 a week, you're getting the best, I think, Judy.
Oh, I think so too, John. I think we've got a darn good podcast.
Hello, Professor. Gary's in the house. Hello, Gary. A new member. And like I said, we always start off with the thank yous. Not unless I have a guest on, then I do a roundabout thank you for the members always. You know what I mean?
Right, yes. They're precious.
So right now, as we lost a bunch of you guys, so I'm giving you time to rejoin. But right now, from the captains to the masters to the marshals, it's Virginia, Gary, Rebecca, Becky, that person, Caroline, Barbara, Starlene, Jeff, Mark Sandollar, Roxy, and Jazz Dia. That's it for now. But as people get their credit cards statement saying it was canceled, they can rejoin, because the only way I can change or edit anything in this membership, Judy, is I had to delete the knights and I had to delete the captains, even to change one little letter. Can you imagine that?
Oh, that's sad, isn't it? Oh, they just can't make it easy, John.
Hello, Gary. Thanks for coming in. But you know what I mean? Just to edit something in the membership, you got to delete the whole level, put some new stuff in there. Everybody on that level gets a credit and a refund if they paid before the month. You know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha.
And then whatever they want
wow.
to do, they'd have to rejoin. Yeah, so that's the big thing there. That's about the only change I will make, for a long, long time. Because I figure for $2 a week, you can't go no lower than that.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, because YouTube takes 30%, so really not much to it. But it's for something that goes wrong. We put it up against equipment. We put it up against editing. We put it up against software. So you can imagine the cost of the licensings and the software. And we try to offset some of that, but just YouTube membership just doesn't do it. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right, John. Yeah, I know that you don't make quite enough, so we thank you for all you do.
Yep. And I thank for the people that give me extra support, when it comes up like in September and October, not September, October, November, mostly all the yearly license come up, but I try to build up the membership to offset some of it so we don't have to come out of our pocket. You know what I mean? But that's what it's for.
Yes.
Hello, Ray. Hello, Gary from the UK. There we got somebody from the UK. And there's the hook. And also, yep, I want to thank Harba B and Joanne, who also are supporters. And also to Judy, who is online. Judy, thank you for all you do, and especially these professional synopsis that you do on a weekly basis. Thank you so much, Judy.
You're welcome, John, and I'll keep doing them as long as you need them.
Yep. And the professor, what can I say? Now, him and Charlotte have a 4-part series going on this Sunday. I almost feel like this is turning into a TV show myself. Daniel, I thank you so much for what you're doing and the information you give to us, our private members, and on YouTube to the whole world. You're very much appreciated, Daniel, and everything you do. I thank you so much, Daniel.
And I want to say a special thank you to my sister Brenda, who just came in. Hello, sister.
And also to Osprey Muyan. I want to thank him. I want to thank Osprey Muyan. I'm wondering, so what does your sister do in the group? Let me see. Does she fly the drone? Does she do research? How the heck did she fit in here?
Well, she fits in by encouraging me.
I go, wait a minute. Where was I now? See, Judy, you get me all screwed up now. Where am I?
Muon. I think you're going to thank Muon.
I want to thank Osprey Muyan. And also we have the airplane guy. You know what I'm going to call the airplane guy?
What?
Snoopy.
Oh, good one.
So John Meisner, who flies his airplane or rents an airplane, and he flies over the island, he goes up to Nova Scotia, and he takes pictures. His new nickname will be Snoopy. So I thank Snoopy for the pictures he sent me. Oh, I'm losing it.
Oh, boy, Johnny, you're in a good mood tonight.
Hello, Neil. Hello, Deborah from Australia. Does your sister bake? Does she make lasagna? That's the big question.
Oh, heck, she makes good lasagna. Yes, she does, Daniel.
Hello, Caroline.
And she also bakes good goodies.
What's all this, Caroline, here? John, Buried Nights Temple, Holy Grail, History Channel, 3:14, 2 p.m., Holy Silly Grail. Is this all new stuff, Carol? Or is it repeats? Must be new stuff, new season? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a repeat. I think I have seen that in the past, but it is definitely worth watching.
Yeah, some of these programs we can watch over and over and over again. Thank you, Caroline. Thanks for coming in. Are you up, Tim? We're going to discuss that garden shaft after I... Could it be cookies for Daniel? Oh, Daniel's always seems to be hungry for some reason.
Yeah, he does. He likes cookies. Well, Daniel, if she ever brings me any, I'll send you some.
All right. I want to thank my moderators. I hope Tammy's doing okay. We got Judy, Daniel. I hope Starlene's doing okay. I hope Michelle's doing okay. We got the hook, Kathy. She's with us. And I thank you, Kathy, to keep these members that you read every single profile to keep us safe. Kathy, I thank you so much. And BC and Tanya from Portugal. And to our lifetime contributor, Chris Dona. Like I say every night, I got to thank my main members, my 70,000 members from the Facebook group, the Quest of Oak Island. If you YouTube members don't like Facebook, well, my group's in Facebook. A lot of information from 6-7 years, I guess, Judy. I mean, there's so much information on my page, you'd have to spend years just looking at it. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly, John. A lot there.
Yep. I also think we're live on YouTube, live on Twitter at the same time. Rumble, I sort of disembarred a little bit because it's just a repeat of what I'm showing. There's not really any viewers there. I was using it for a backup. And also to all our Anchor podcast, the audio side, Judy, we're closing in on 25,000 plays on Anchor, which is Google, Apple, iHeartRadio, but a lot of people watch us on Spotify.
That's great to know, John.
Close to 25,000 plays. We almost had 100,000 views just last week on YouTube. Can you imagine that?
Oh, wow. Oh, that's amazing. That means I really did go all over the world.
And here's Daniel. Research leaves me hungry all the time.
I believe that. It would make me hungry.
I hear you guys. Hello, Susan. You're on the Facebook side. I got to look both ways here. Okay. Did I get everybody in now?
I think you did.
Ready? I told you about the levels. John Meisner is now called Snoopy. I don't know how I come up with this stuff. Holy Muyan, Lordy 40.
Well, I think it's cute. We'll know who you mean.
Yep. I'll have to email him and tell him so he knows what I'm talking about.
Right. Yes, please do.
Okay. Last night was Striking Gold, episode 16, Judy.
Yes, already.
And next week, episode 17 is on Tuesday, March 14th. There was a misprint. So it's called A Well of Secrets. As the garden shaft operation gets deeper, the evidence of gold becomes stronger. So you know they're going to be going deeper than their 55 feet. No problem, Neil. Glory, we're talking about food a lot. What are you cooking? No problem. Like I said, guys, we're always on the internet. Hello, Troy. We're always on the internet. So we're available when you're available. You know, the 6:45 or 6:30, I thought would be a little earlier for the people across the seas. So I want to give them the chance to see us live instead of always seeing not repeats, but replays on the internet. You know, Judy?
Yes. Yeah, and I hope that they enjoy it, John. I'm sure they do.
We got smoked turkey. We got baked banana bread. We got pizza. Oh, my Lordy 40. I'm starting to drool over here.
Yeah, really. Oh, we could only be together.
And Glory's making pork tenderloin sandwich. Oh, we got to go to Gloria's house. I think she's got it. I'll bring a cake. Ashley, baked fish. Yep, I like baked haddock. I make haddock french size. Taco soup. Oh, my lordy forty.
Oh, that's my sister. She makes really good taco soup.
Oh, lordy forty. All right, now the question's going to be out there now, guys. We always do like a little brainstorming before Judy gets into her synopsis, so she rests her voice and drinks some wine. Maybe does a shot of Canadian Club. So we got to fill in so Judy gets her throat nice and smooth. So my big question is now, even though Scott came up with it, but I was sort of, dibbling around, why they found gold in the garden shaft. You saw where they drilled the 12 holes around that level, 55 feet, right, Judy?
Yes, I did.
How in the heck, at only 55 feet, there's traces of gold in the side of the shaft, or was it out 11 feet? But I think it was the wood on the side of the shaft that they wanted tested. I went back and I couldn't really find where this piece of wood came from, but I think it was part of the shaft wall. Am I correct, Judy?
I think you are, yes.
Because when they went out to the side, I think they said they hit a rock at 11 feet.
Yes, they did.
Right. So how the heck does gold get embedded into the side of a cavern or a wooden shaft at 55 feet? So,
wouldn't there have to be water with gold in it in order for it to soak in to the wood?
well, you can imagine the wood in the old days was like old oak or old something that they figure wouldn't rot that fast in the dirt, right, guys?
Yes.
So obviously the gold particles had to travel to that level of 55 feet to be gold in the wood. There's no other way the gold's going to get up to 55 feet. The wood's not going to suck it up from 90 feet down for 45 feet. It's not going to suck up gold for 45 feet to the 55-foot level, right?
Right.
So I asked Doug Crowell, I always talk to him, and he said this. This is his explanation. Water from below rises to sea level in most shafts. So a depth of 55 feet is at least 25 feet below sea level, because most of the mounds or the drumlins are about 35 feet above seawater. You guys got that right?
Yes. Okay.
So he's saying at 30 feet, that's where the sea level is, where they're drilling.
Oh, okay.
Because he said at a depth of 55 feet, it's at least 25 feet below sea level. So you got 30 feet of just dirt, no water, no nothing. So in the old days, I'm saying, the water level was even lower. Am I correct, Amundo, or no on that, guys?
As far as I know, you are.
Daniel, point 11% parts per billion is high and above normal levels you expect to find. Okay, Daniel. Yes, Scott. That's what I'm getting. Where the drill went through the side of one of the 12 holes they drilled in the side of the 55-foot level. That wood was tested, which I have screenshots of it, and Emma's saying gold in there. Yup, Robot. That's why I had Muyan fly from Gold River. You'll see the video behind me. It flies from Gold River right into Oak Island. So, what about if this chamber and this shaft, as I was told, and I get told a lot of things, Judy.
Yes, you do.
That this garden shaft was a pumping station. Now think about this, guys. You're in the mines, or not the mines, but you're in the tunnels digging, wherever you're digging. and you're pumping water out of the garden shaft. So if you're continuously pumping water out of the garden shaft in lower tunnels, they might have particles of gold. That's the only way I can see that the gold can be embedded in a 55-foot level of the garden shaft. Talk to me, guys.
Well, some of you guys that know more about this, Daniel does say that apparently the levels of gold that does increase as they go deeper.
Right. But gold is heavy. The particles are heavy.
Yes.
That, you know, when you watch these gold shows, when they're panning and getting little pieces and little flakes, it's always on the bottom. It don't go to the top. It's too heavy.
Right.
So I can see the only way it gets to the top is being pumped to the top. Talk to me, guys. You know what I'm saying, guys? Or no?
Could it be, John, that when the tide comes in, it brings it up to that level?
For it to be embedded in wood?
Yeah, would the tide bring it up long enough for it to get embedded in the wood?
I think it brings it up and it takes it out, just like a washing machine.
Oh, okay.
But that's my own opinion, guys. I'm just trying to think it out. That if they did use the garden shaft for a pump shaft, that as they're digging the tunnels, the water was coming out of that shaft so they can dig below the water level before it got too much volume. UFO, what do you mean no? Explain yourself. Dave, water was lower, but depends how far you go back. Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know no years or dates this garden shaft was implemented. We got dates on wood, but it don't tell us when the guys were there. It's a 200-year absorption rate. Yeah, but the shaft was only like what, 1760 or somewhere like that? They tested the wood.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Does the tide come in quietly or hard? I have no idea, Sydney. It's got to be against the wood to suck it in for a while, especially gold.
Yeah,
gold is heavier than dirt, so it's got to stay there for a while so the wood absorbs it. And if the wood is somehow treated with some kind of pitch or something that they put on the boats to preserve the wood down in there, that's in there, I just don't get it.
Daniel says the big question is the gold naturally occurring or associated with a treasure deposit? Perhaps that makes a difference.
You know what they should do, or get us an answer out there, guys? You know all these shows down in Florida, they find Spanish treasure and all this other stuff with the metal detector?
Yes.
Why don't they take a water sample around the ships and see what their gold, how much their gold is decaying in the salt water there? See how high the gold concentration gets around a shipwreck with known gold in it, just to see. You know, Judy?
That would be interesting, John. It would.
Yup, bro, but I can see that. A natural gold sluice. As the tide comes in, it brings the gold in. On the outside of a shaft, it's the sluice, though. You know, the sluice is a big, long shaft, Judy, with all kinds of ribbons in it that catches the heavier material. And then you take the mats out, and the gold's in the mats. That's a sluice, Judy.
Right, yes. I've seen it on TV, actually.
Yeah. So that's what I would like to know. Around the old ships that got gold, let's get a water measurement of what's the gold content around there. And like Daniel says, is this natural? Is this coming from, which they tell me, what a lot of opinions are, it's not really gold coins or silver bars. It's more pointing to something as a relic. Now, will a relic give off all this gold? I don't know.
That's what I was wondering too, and obviously so is Daniel.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to Tony Sampson.
Scott says the water would have to be pushed through the dirt at high tide to get against the wall.
Yep. And it was old workings, or it hit old workings from a pre-treasure hunt days, that the gold particles in the water were absorbed into the wood over time. So maybe there was some treasure of something at the 55 level, and then it sunk down, or disappeared, or they took it out. Who the heck knows? You know what I mean?
Right. This is that we don't as of yet.
Yep, I hear you, UFO. I'm just trying to understand what they're giving us. That's all. And Luann, hope you're doing okay. Would depend on what firm the gold was in when it was buried. Yep. Hello, Curtis. Thanks for coming in. So that was scratching my head on that, guys.
Well, maybe somebody will come up with an answer for you.
Yep. I mean, it makes it more obvious to bury the gold 55 feet than 200 feet. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, it does.
So maybe something was at the 55-foot level. Yeah, we got the pad on there. We got everything else. So maybe it's only 30 feet originally. You know, you got the pad on the money pit. You got all kinds of disruptions on the money pit. So this 55 feet now could have been only 30 feet in 1795, you know?
Right. Could have been, John, too.
And that makes more sense to me than digging down 30 feet and finding something. Or to retrieve something would be a lot better.
Judy, Neil wants to know, she said this is probably a dumb question, but what are the gold levels in the Gold River today? Do you know? We probably don't know that.
No. As far as I know, in the old days, Judy, Neil, gold was right on the beach, right in the sand in the beach. That's how much gold was coming out of that Gold River. And Daniel says traces are now becoming more and more significant. Yeah, as the deeper they go, they're finding it more and more. But how far are they going to dig? You know, suppose they dig down 120 feet and there's nothing there. Well, what the heck does that mean?
Right, exactly.
Like Marty says, we're hearing a lot about this gold and finding it everywhere, but in my hand. And that's me talking.
Yes.
And that's me talking also. You know, you got all this gold signatures and everything else. Put it in my hand, and then we'll go from there, you know.
Right on, John.
So the only thing I can think of, it was a pumping shaft or the gold was at 30 or 50 feet. They took it out. They left the signature. And that's the only thing I can really come up with, that they're finding gold that's in the wood in the shaft at 55 feet down. Even though as they go lower, the gold signature is getting higher. But that makes sense to me because gold is heavy. Gold will naturally work its way down to the bottom of whatever. That's why they find it on bedrock. You know what I mean, guys?
Right, John. So who knows what they might find at the bottom of the garden shaft?
Yeah, because if you watch all these gold programs, they got pickers and things that are on top. But when they're digging down deep, it's usually on the bottom.
Right.
Yep, Navy. So that was my spiel before Judy's synopsis that was bothering me. So I don't even know if I answered my question, but we got to see, I guess. Hello, Thor. Whose pumping station do you think it was? I'm not sure. I'm not sure of a year or anything, but people have told me that the garden shaft was a pumping station for when they were tunneling. They were using it to pump out the water to keep it down to tunnel. And that's all I know. I have no years, who was doing it, or anything like that. Just speculation. But they had to use it for something. They dug it there for some reason, Judy. You know what I mean? They picked that spot for some reason.
Yes, they did. Yeah, I'd like to know why.
Unbelievable. All right, Judy, you going to get ready pretty soon?
Yes, I'm ready.
Not ready. What did BC say here? Hold on. England loaded ships with beach sand from around the oven, strikes the process back home. Around the Oak Island?
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's what she means. I don't know.
Did they date the ladder? Not last night. Not last night. That's another thing we got to watch out for, Judy, when they date that ladder rung there.
Right. Yes, let's hope they do it.
But you don't know. The shaft can be a different date. Then somebody else went down the shaft 150 years later and brought a different ladder. You know, I mean, I don't know what that's going to show, but it'll give us some kind of date, you know.
Right. It'll help.
Very interesting. The Ovens is an area near the island. It's caves and rocks on the beach. Okay, Dave, thank you.
Oh, okay. That's a new one. I'm glad to hear that.
Yup, BC, the wood could have came from one of the ships. I mean, if they were using wood to build wharfs from Frog Island on Oak Island, they would repurpose anything, any kind of wood to make the shafts in the tunnels, Judy.
Yes. Yeah, this is it.
Do you think the brothers knew about the garden shaft being so important prior to this year? Not until they started testing the water, Susan. And who knows what Muyan's going to show us. I'm still waiting for Muyan. Holy Muyan, Lordy 40, let us know what's going on, you know?
Really? We better hear about that before the end of the season.
Otherwise, Kathy's going to give us the real big hook. And Dave says it's outside Lutenberg. Thank you so much, David. Keep us straight and narrow here.
Yes.
All right, let me get Judy's picture up for the world to see here, and she'll do her synopsis. Hold on. All right, Judy, your picture is up for the world to see. Thank you very much for what you do. You're the pro. Go ahead when you're ready. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I'm a little bit horsey with my voice tonight, guys, so I'm sorry about that, but I'll do the best I can. So we got season 10, episode 16, Striking Gold. A new morning of hope and excitement has begun on Oak Island, and 55 feet down in the garden shaft, the Dumas team have been busy drilling 3 boreholes into each of the side walls of the shaft. Rick has been watching the process via video camera, and he has handed the latest samples of soil and wood, which he then takes back to Emma in the lab for immediate testing. Over on lot 26, Marty, Laird, and Jack are meeting with forest technician Peter Romke, who is about to extract a core sample of the old tree that is growing out of the stone wall they began to examine last week. As Peter pulls out the core sample, the team hopes the sample can give them an idea as to the age of the wall and the nearby old well, whose stonework is built in the same way as the wall. Peter will get back to them with his test results. Over on the west side of the island on lot 4, Gary and Rick are metal detecting and dig up what looks like a heel of a shoe. It is made of leather with a copper alloy around the edges. They bag it for testing. Next up is what Gary thinks is an old hand-wrought ship rigging axe that could be Viking. They wonder if this could be related to the ornate folded piece of metal found a few weeks ago that is also thought to be Viking. They will test for comparison. The following morning, on Lot 26, the team is studying the construction of the stone wall with expert Peter Romke. Peter points out the small stones are on the bottom, just as the foundations of castles in medieval England and Scotland were built. As Peter explains the 2-to-1 layering of the stones, he says this wall was built by someone who really knew what they were doing. Rick asks what the purpose of the wall could be, and Peter suggests that if someone wanted to hide the digging of a tunnel or vault, what better way to disguise it but in the middle of a wall? Could it be? It's morning, and Charles arrives at the garden shaft to get an update from the Dumas team on their progress. They have drilled 11 holes so far and have found nothing out of the ordinary. Charles watches as they begin the drilling of the final hole, number 12, in the west wall, and the drill comes to a sudden stop as they hit what they think is a large rock. It is disappointing that no human activity has been found inside the walls of the shaft, so the Dumas team will continue to dig deeper and start the construction of the next 8-foot section of the garden shaft. Charles takes the soil and the wood samples from hole 12 to the lab. Later that afternoon, in the money pit area, the team is drilling new borehole DN 10.5, 30 feet from the garden shaft in the area of the baby blob. They are hoping to drill into the 90-foot down tunnel found earlier this year. A core hits the table from 89 feet down and shows soft soil, but no wood. The Irving team informs them that they hit a void at 89.5 feet, but they keep digging. A core from 99 feet down shows no wood, but does show soft soil, and this makes Terry believe they are close to a construct. Marty tells them to go down to 120 feet. Back on Lot 26, Laird, Miriam, and Alex begin the continuation of excavating the edge of the stone wall. They hope to find some artifacts to help them date the wall. As they carefully take apart the edge, Laird points out these are not field stones, but beach stones, and Alex says this is the only place on the island where the stones look to be cut. Laird finds what looks to be a granite stone that has been cut and worked by man. Alex reminds them of the granite kingdom stone found in 2013 by Peter Amundsen at Nolan's Cross. Since that stone had also been cut, Alex suggests this new piece of granite could be part of the kingdom stone. We will see. Late afternoon finds the team back in the money pit area as a core comes up from 120 feet down in borehole DN 10.5. The soil proves to be very dense and there is no wood, so disappointedly, they have missed the 90-foot tunnel. Emma and Laird arrive with the test results of the samples taken from the side walls of the garden shaft. The original inner lining samples show gold in the wood and soil. Marty asks Emma how accurate that is, and she answers 100%. I have tested it several times. Emma gets a big applause from the team as Ian says we must keep checking the water soil, and wood for signs of gold. Rick announces that science will give us our answer, and Marty begs, find more gold. Just how much gold is in the garden shaft or the baby blob? Stay tuned next week, Questers, for the next step in finding the answer. And in the meantime, stay safe, please.
Thank you very much, Judy. Of course, this will be posted on our Facebook group, in Patreon, and in the YouTube commentary section for the members later on in the show. Fantastically done, Judy.
Thank you, John, very much.
Robot's coming up with a bunch of questions. The best thing to do, Robot, there is email my friend Michael Brahman. I think the garden shaft was 5 by 8. And what compass direction is the top part pointing to? I have no idea. I can't help you out there. Yes, Robert. Every book I read, a lot of them say that they went to Frog Island to get wood to build wharfs on Oak Island. Why they didn't use the wood on Oak Island? Maybe they ran out. I mean, if you don't have the certain amount of wood and so big for a dock or a wharf, you go find where the wood is sufficient and mature. So this is said in a lot of books that they did do this. Go to Frog Island for its lumber. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you, everybody, by the way, for the encouragement. I love you guys.
Yup, Judy. They probably used all the wood up with ships and wood making shafts and tunnels at Oak Island. How much wood could have been left over there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, really, John. I agree.
After 52 shafts and all kinds of tunneling, and even for the money pit, they used 10,000 linear feet of wood, because that's what they told us in books, that when it collapsed, there was 10,000 linear feet of lumber that fell down in there.
Wow.
And of course,
that's a lot.
Yeah, and of course, we don't know about the lumber that was shipped in from the mainland also, on barges, before the causeway was made. So who the heck knows? We also had a question, and I was thinking of this, and I got screenshots that we'll go through. Let me take Judy's picture off here. Thank you so much, Judy.
You're welcome, John. It was a good one to do this morning. I enjoyed it.
Yep. And when that guy was doing the core sample in that big tree to show the dates?
Yes.
Now, I'm thinking you got to think both ways now. You got to think the show as a production for TV and a history treasure hunt. You know what I keep on saying that, Judy? I keep on saying that over and over.
Yes, and it's true.
So, are you going to film a guy to hand screw a core sample in a 5-foot diameter oak tree? No. You're going to show it go in, then you're going to show it go out, and it's sort of the editing process. I'm pretty sure they have to go through the whole center of the tree for dating the thing. They're not going to just go in 1 foot and take a 1-foot sample out of this tree. So again, it's our editors, and I think it's the production. This is my own ideas, guys, that it was edited out, because you're not going to film this guy maybe at the end to show it go all the way through. But, they got things to do, and they got production to go. So they edit it out, in my own opinion. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea, John. I hadn't thought of that.
I mean, Marty's not going to take a 6-inch piece and say, oh, the tree's 350 years old. No. He had a hand screw that thing, or a longer one, to go through that whole tree or to the center ring. So that's my own opinion. What do you think, guys?
Luann says oak is an extremely hard wood, and she's right. It is.
So that's my idea on that. Well, and Barbara, thank you for those pictures, even though I have screenshots of people, ideas that we like, that, piling all the stones up against the tree, or did the tree come up through the wall? Obviously, as the tree's grown, it's spreading the rocks away to make that pile, even though we didn't see no roots on the bottom. The trunk itself coming up through the ground itself will move anything, the rocks. You don't have to see surface roots. You know what I mean, guys?
Right. Yes.
Yep, they had to go to the center, Scott. Tammy, I hope they filled in that hole so they don't kill the tree. I like it.
No, we don't want anything to happen to that tree.
No. But you got to think of these things. That's what they have me thinking. Hell of a party. Thanks for coming in. Cora needs to go to the center. 3 inches is enough on a 5-foot tree. I'm not sure. I'm just saying, I don't know how long the core was. I don't know how far we went in. We showed the core, then it went on the inside. I'm just saying, just watch out for the editors. And that's something that they're not going to be too much TV worthy, but they'll show the process and then just let us know the dates later. Because people say, well, I only had that core, was only this much, right?
Right.
Well, that tree, that's not in the center. To me, in a 5-foot tree, you got to go 2.5 feet, no? Wouldn't you have a ring about 2 feet long then?
I would certainly think so, John. The only other thing I could think of is that they staged that scene and then at a different time did a complete core.
Sure.
Taking of the core.
Sure. So that's what I think on that part. That's how they got me thinking now by doing this show for 10 years. That's how they got me thinking. Well,
right.
The bottom line is Marty gets his date of the tree. How they got it, they showed the process, and we get the date of the tree is so many rings, and this is the tree. That's all we care about.
Right, exactly.
You up, David? If they can prove the wall is constructed from Nolan's Cross chip-off, it's huge. Yeah, if they made the Nolan's Cross and they made them as a cone-shaped 10-foot, 10-ton boulder, match them up. Let's go, boys.
Wow.
Get that geologist working. Get them on the stone pile. Get them off that sausage table for a while. Put them in the stone pile.
Yeah.
Yep, Scott, they can come out in sections. Yep. All right, let's get into some screenshots. Are you ready, guys?
We're ready, John.
Here we be. All right, here they are under that black tent, looking down the garden shaft tunnel. Every day, Oak Island begins with hope. We need a lot of hope.
For sure.
And they're looking at the actual Duma mining computer that I liked, that I had to look real close. I like that action, Judy.
Yes, that was really something.
And that's what they're looking at under this black tent. And there's the first picture of Duma Mining's operation through the camera, the drop-down camera.
It's so cool to be able to see that, isn't it?
Yeah. I just wanted to get more pictures of that drill, how those 3 guys work it down there to put 12 holes in there. I'm pretty sure Michael Brahman from Dot to Dot, support him, please, also. That's close quarters down in there, Judy.
It sure is, John. It's hard to believe they were able to do that, and especially with 3 men in there. Or was there just 2?
Hello, Rob. Thanks for coming in. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you can. Please join if you can. Please give me a like if you can. Please support if you can. I'm on Patreon, and I have a membership page on YouTube. Every little bit helps. I thank you so much, guys. And here they are on the outside. You see the breather tube that goes down for oxygen.
Yes. Wow.
And they haven't been to the 80-foot depth yet. As far as you know, last night they were just at 55, right, Judy?
Yes.
And here's Marty. Never mind this gold and all this stuff. Put it in my hand. I loved it when he said that. It sounded just like me.
Yep. Yes, it did.
This is where the treasure hunt actually begins. I still say they're in the wrong spot, but that's my own personal opinion.
Right, John. I want to see them get on to lot 5 for sure.
So this is where they're saying they're at 55 feet. I had to make sure. After I watched it, I said, well, are they at 75 feet? 60? No, I got it right there. 55 feet is where they were drilling the 12 holes. I think so, Dave. That Army truck was the foam. I think so. We finally know what that Army green truck is. The waterproofing.
Right. That's probably it.
And there we be. If we get lucky, this will tell us. Yeah.
Yeah. Susan's wondering where are they in conjunction with the Restall shaft? I know I don't know that, John, and I don't know if you do.
They're quite a ways away from it. The garden shaft, I don't have exact measurements. I do have some maps I'm going to show you during the screenshots. Maybe I got it on there, but I'm not sure. But it's pretty far away from the garden shaft, the Restall shaft, and the chapel shaft.
Okay.
And they did 12 holes. I'm pretty sure they hit a rock, I think they said.
Yes, that's what they said.
And this is where they're grabbing soil samples. Rick wants all kinds of samples. For all the testing. There was a Restall shaft near Smith's Cove. That's where they passed away, Luann. That's where they passed away in that shaft, yeah.
I'm sure they filled that one in, didn't they, John?
Yeah. And that's what we're thinking about gold in the wood. It might act like a sponge. But I'm just saying, gold is heavy. It doesn't go up, it goes down. That's my big thought. You know what I mean, guys?
Right, John. I'm anxious to see what they find at 80 feet down.
Yeah, that's what we want to find. Robot. Unfortunately, Nolan's cross, according to Fred Nolan, who states he found an 18th century potbelly stove under the cone, could not have been constructed before this time. Who knows if they move stones around and they put them back in the indentation. Fred, as a surveyor, would not do such a thing. He would plot it first and then move something and move it right back to where it was. As far as finding a potbelly stove under one boulder, who knows? Once you relax, if you got a bunch of guys, you put your back against a 10-foot boulder, the stove breaks apart, and just shove it under the side of the stove, or under the side of the stone or something. We don't know if it was on the edge. We don't know if it's in the middle. You know, if you got a bunch of guys at a campsite, the first thing is you make a campsite, and you got the fire going, which the rocks retain heat. And maybe they were just leaning up against the cone, and the stove broke off, and whatever it was, they just shoved it in the side of the rock. That could be too, right, Robert? What do you think of that?
Yeah, it could very well be.
Or if I broke a stove on the island, I'd just leave it there broke. There's nowhere to throw it if you had to throw it in the swamp or something. If the stove broke up.
Right.
I mean, I have no idea. But as far as I know, Fred Nolan was very detailed as a surveyor, as I was, that he would not move anything unless it was plotted. And if we did move things 20 feet or so, he would put it right back, because you can put it right back with angles and measurements to exactly where you plotted it the first time before you moved it. You know, Judy?
Right, John. I think his maps show that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
he was very exact.
Yep, yep. And here they are on lot 26. Wait, if there's gold in the water, the wood was in the water, it sucked up the water, leaving gold. But we're just saying the height, Wade. We're not saying that water and gold cannot be sucked up by wood. We're just saying gold is the heaviest element out there, maybe lead, that it wouldn't be at the 55-foot level, or years ago, the water was even lower, the money put was even lower. So that might be at the 30-foot level. Like I'm saying, they put the pad on when Vanessa came with the caissons. So that level of that money pit is not what it was long ago. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right. Yes, John. Yes, you're making perfect sense.
Okay, thank you. And there's where they're finding this tree in stone piles between lot 26 and 27. And but you would think this stuff wouldn't be a big surprise to these people. If I owned this island, except for lot number 5, because they didn't have permission to go there, I would go to lot number 1, plot it all out, draw anything that's on lot 1. Walls, trees, stumps, stones with holes in it. Okay, you're done with lot 1. All right, let's go to lot 2. You know what I mean? This doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. Yes, they're all over the place. Yeah, why wouldn't they do it that way, John?
I have no idea. I have no idea. They're driving me crazy. So this is where the spot is. There was a map I posted on a short video of actual lines of stone walls that they have there. You got to search in my videos to see that, guys. And there's this other Peter Ronke. And of course, we got the well that's 100 feet away from the stone wall, or whatever you want to call it. They call it a well. Who knows? It's only 5 foot deep. And over the centuries, just got filled in, I guess.
Yes, that's what it sounds like.
Very much, Luann, very much. And here he is drilling in this first core sample. That rod seems to be about 20 inches, maybe.
Yes.
And that's just to show you the size of the tree. Yup, Tammy, they got to move out of that money pit if we want to find things. And I thought that's what Muyan's about. But there's no other Muyan sensors on the island. So that concerns me also. When Osprey Muyan flew around, we didn't see any new Muyan sensors anywhere, because you don't get the information in about 7 months. So if there was something excited that they found, say, oh, let's put some around the swamp. Or let's put some around the west side if they got a target area. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right, John. It'll be interesting to find out before the end of the year what they have done with Muon.
And there they are extracting that first sample, which I think is just for editing, that, you know, this is how the process is. And we'll let you know later in the war room when Greg tells us the date. That's it. Over and out. Production over, edit. that's a wrap, or whatever the heck they say when they do an episode.
John, I agree with you on that. I do.
There's no way that's to the middle of the tree. And probably they had to take, like Scott says, a couple of more sections out, bag it, and get it tested.
Right.
So a lot of people that are PME, they never go deep enough. How are they going to get? Well, that's my opinion, and I think it makes sense, guys. And here's the shoe, the heel of a shoe, a boot, or whatever. Didn't Robot say something about this heel a while back?
Oh boy, he might have.
Here we go. Why copper bottom boots? British Royal Navy Cannon Power Monkey Bucket Boots. What did I say that fast? British Royal Navy Cannon Powder Monkey Bucket Boots. Robot, you're killing me. But at least you're not as bad as my professor friend. He gives me words I can't even say. The Navy
used copper. Yeah, okay, sorry.
The Navy used copper bottom boots when they dealt with gunpowder. Robot, fantastic. Mongo, 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 mo. Learn something new every day, Judy.
Yeah, you do. I'm finding that really interesting. I was thinking out loud to myself.
Is there ever any evidence of Vikings being on the island? They're working on it. From Templars to Vikings and back and forth. No sparks. No sparks, Scott says. I hear you. Then they found a axe head. Then they got into the Vikings axe. You know, trigger words, Vikings, Templars, gold, treasure location, gold, hitting all the treasure signals.
Don't even try and read what Daniel just put on there. I can't.
Oh, Professor. Tiger Mintium Pasta Bron boots. You're killing me. You guys are killing me. Tim, copper does not create a spark or static electricity. Here we go.
There you go. That's why it's got the copper on it, right?
Why would they not ask the question? I have no idea, Robot. I'm still getting questions 10 years later. Why, out of 364 islands located on Mahone Bay, was only Oak Island divided into lots?
Robot, we have all wondered why that is.
If you can
why did the government do that?
Yeah, if you can get the answer, let me know, because I can't get no straight answers.
Tammy Hirsch says that one of the last episodes of the Viking series that was on TV showed Flocky meeting the Mi'kmaq.
Very good, Tammy. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'm still trying to get the Mi'kmaq chief to come on.
I sure wish you would. It would be so interesting.
Yeah, I just want to hear their side of this Oak Island. But maybe they can't. Maybe their lawyers, whatever, said, well, you don't talk to podcasts or whatever. That's for our own people or something. Who the heck knows?
Right. I would just be so interested in hearing their side of it.
How many other islands had people on them? Asked Luann. Well, if they're real small, there's no people on the real small ones. Just destinations to go fishing and stuff like that, I guess.
Right.
Oak Island's 140 acres, so that's pretty big.
Right. Maybe it's the biggest one. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the size too. Obviously, I'm a surveyor. Well, they get a bunch of islands. Well, this island here, we can divide it into 5-acre lots, and we can get 26 lots out of here and sell them. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
This island's too small. We can't even put one house on here. So all determines on those factors, you know what I mean? And then we go back to this. What the heck happened to this piece, Daniel?
Yes.
This folded over, what the heck piece?
Well, now that they are talking about the axe being Viking, and they talked about this piece being Viking, maybe we'll find out more about this piece.
Yep. Have a good day, Hobbies Hobo. Thanks for coming in. Stop it in when you can. Yep, Daniel. Maybe the end hook. They're piling up the hooks for us, Daniel. And there it is, Judy. The X and the piece.
Well, I'm sure they will test them and see if there's any comparison at all in the metal.
Mm. And then we went by the wall. Even we noticed that the small pieces were on the bottom. Remember, I was saying, well, how come all the big pieces are put on top? Remember, Judy?
Yes, when Peter was talking about it last night, that's the first thing I thought about.
Yeah. Usually you put the big rocks on the bottom. Well, who knows? With these 2 rocks on top and 1 in the middle, I don't know. I never heard of that construction before. But
No, I could see what he was pointing at, but I hadn't heard of it either.
But yet, I don't build castles, you know what I mean?
No, exactly. And this, Peter said he has built many walls out of stone, so he knows what he's doing. Tim says Carmen should look at the axe head. I know Carmen's on next week, but I'm not sure exactly what he's looking at. I think it's something they find next week.
Yeah, something they find next week. Smoke hedgehog. Have they figured out if it was 2 islands yet? Nope, we haven't heard from the end of Tom Nolan's swamp if it was man-made, stopped, lumber stopped. If they block the swamp off on that end, they let us hang on that one, hedgehog. Sonia Howard, you do a great job, Judy. You're a sweet lady.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, John, I could just do this all night.
And here they are back. They go back to the drill in the garden shaft. Very interesting. And I think they get hung up on a rock at this 11-foot area, like we're saying. So back to the drawing board.
Yes, down deeper, and then they'll go into the walls again.
Yep. Now they're going down. Are they going to do this every 8 feet and do 12 holes? That's what I got to try to find out.
Oh, yeah. I know they went like 2 sections and then did the drilling in the side. So maybe they'll do that again.
The next one would be 8 and 55 is 63 feet.
Right.
So maybe they go every 16 feet. Who the heck knows? I don't know. And here we go to the hole, NN DN 10.5. And since they hit a rock, they put a lid on it. That's it. Garden shaft is done, because now they have to put in the waterproofing, put in new walls to go any deeper than the 55 feet. So the drilling is done inside there, Judy.
Yes, okay.
So they put the cover back on. No more testing until the next section is complete. Oh, I was thinking of this show, the head and shaft or the chapel. No. And here's where the hole is in the baby blob. DN 10.5. Robot. Okay, robot. Big Tancook Island is the largest of many islands in Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia. It measures 2.5 miles north to south by 1 mile, forming a C shape. Thank you so much, robot.
Oh, thank you.
And glory, walls are just like building with bricks. You always put a brick over the place where 2 bricks are next to each other to protect and make the joint strong. You got it. Those are bricks, but I don't know about pieces of rocks. How the heck does that keep steady with no mortar? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you wonder, don't you? And yet they're able to do it.
Here's the baby blob, as you've seen. As we're finding gold signatures there. But yet they're digging deeper in the garden shaft, finding more gold signatures, stronger, going deeper there than in these other holes, Judy.
Yes. Yeah, John, I'm wondering just how deep down they will go in that shaft. If they'll go below 80 feet.
I think so. And that's what they're showing them hits, that a shaft goes underneath the garden shaft, and the gold is coming from the baby blob to the garden shaft, not maybe directly underneath the garden shaft, but some kind of shaft that's been not filled in, but all corroded by now.
Yes. And Tim says that the weight of the rocks pushes down gravity. So those heavier rocks on top, I guess, is what keeps the walls together.
Navy, what'd you say? How far from the garden shaft? The baby blob, every square is 5 feet. So the edge of that baby blob is maybe 5.5 feet away, where that DN 13.5 is. Every square is 5 feet. So very close.
I know 10.5 was 30 feet away.
Yeah. And there's a pull away shot. No, this is where they kind of stretch it a little bit for me.
Yes.
When they find this red granite piece of rock and trying to tie it into Peter Edmonston. But go dig up this rock they did in 2007 or whenever the heck he was there many years ago.
Yeah.
And see if
it was 2013, I think.
Yeah, and see if it matches up. Bring the rock over there, dig the rock out. They didn't move it. They didn't take it out. It's still in the dirt over there.
Right.
Don't say it. Bring it and match it. You know what I mean?
Well, let's hope they do it, John, because I think it's a far reach, but I'm anxious to find out what they do find out.
Yep. Miriam was back. Laird.
It's good to see her.
And there's our friend Peter Edmonston. Long time ago.
I just think, wouldn't it be something, John, if after all this time they find something where Peter wanted them to dig?
Unbelievable. We're still looking for the Mercy Point. We're still looking for all the stuff he did.
Yes, we are.
But he's the reason why they have Laird there now, the archaeologist. So take it for what it's worth. You know what I mean? His research was very noticed by the province. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Now it's into all this research and permits and everything.
And I know it's a bugger to have to get all those permits, but everything's legal this way.
Yep.
And that's the way it should be.
Yep, and it's an historical island. It's a historical site.
Right.
Even if David Blankenship wanted to build a garage on the side of his house, you'd have to get a permit. Even like me, I'm not in no historical site, but I still got to get a permit to build something on your land. You know what I mean? Imagine on a historical site.
Yes, exactly.
And there's the rock they dug up. It looks like it's round and flat, but I don't know where they would chip it off. But if it's on the round side, you know what I mean? I see a round boulder and
Yes.
a flat side. So if it chipped off, it'd probably be on the edge. You know what I mean, guys?
Right. Oh, I hope they look into that. I'm really anxious to find out.
Unreal. Just match it up, guys.
Scott points out they said one time they had to stay away so many feet from the muon sensors. Looks like they are getting close, maybe.
Yeah, 10 feet away. But right now, towards the end, the muon sensors are all off. They got to watch out for the electrical conduit that's there. But now they're all off. And we don't know when they turned them off during their season of digging. So if they're off, then you can dig right up to them. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right. Okay, John, got you.
So if they're off, we don't know when they were off. We don't know any of that information. But say they went off last August. Well, they had August, September, October, November to dig all over the place over there because the muon sensors were off.
Right. Okay.
Thank you, Amber. And this is the two pieces of wood off the side of the shaft, garden shaft, that Emma says 100% certain gold. And there's the sample extracted 2 days ago. From a depth of 55 feet inside the garden shaft. Now think about that, guys.
I thought Emma was darn cute when they started to applaud her. Her face turned red. And that was cute.
Now this also bothered me also. You know why, Judy?
Why, John?
Read that caption for me. Closed caption. Read it for me, nice and slow.
Okay, from a depth of 55 feet inside the garden shaft.
And Johnny's brain goes off. Inside, not outside, inside.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
So now, if there's gold on the inside of the shaft, not on the outside of the shaft, this wood was taken from the inside of the garden shaft. How the heck did gold get on the inside of the garden shaft?
Right. I missed that altogether. I'm wondering if they made a mistake and said inside instead of outside. John, don't know.
Well, they would know because they're testing it. They need to know direct correlation. Is it outside the shaft? Is it inside the shaft? Is it 10 feet away from the shaft? It was always full of water, Scott. Yeah. But we don't know the levels, like I said. All these places are all full of water. So that had me scratching my head too. Even if it was outside, inside, the gold had to get attached to the wood somehow at that level, at that depth. And when water levels were so low, like before, this shaft did have water in it, as we saw it recently. But I'm talking hundreds of years ago, you know, Judy?
Right, exactly. Boy, John, the things you see that I miss. Wow.
So if they did use it for a pump station from a mining part to keep the water down, it came up through this garden shaft, and some gold that got pumped up from whatever year, from whatever who was doing it on the secret, attached gold on the inside of the garden shaft. So,
well, that's certainly possible.
Contain high trace evidence of gold. Lordy 40. Holy Muyan. And she says it's 100% accurate. And you know, science had to be the real component here. You got that right, Rick.
Yeah, for sure. And Emma's very thorough, I've noticed, so she wouldn't say it was 100% if it wasn't.
Yep. We got next week promo. I'll be on at 6:45 Tuesday next week. And they're showing digging up another well, a PVC pipe type of well, maybe looking for a gold signature there also. Carmen is back to see, and he's dating something there. I don't know if it's this thing. I'll show you one picture because all the time I show you all this, then I got nothing to show you on Tuesday, Judy. I do it all the time.
Yes, you do, John. You can't keep anything to yourself.
Nope. If you watch my video of the preview of next week, you'll see what I'm talking about. I always preview it the night before, last night, the minute I know. And Kathy will like this one. Kathy will love this picture. Are you ready?
We're ready.
There you go, Kathy, if she's still here.
There's the hook right there.
Yep, she's in. Now, there's the hook, Kathy, right there. There's the big hook. So we'll find out about that. Finally, she says. The show's over. That was it. They found the hook. We're done. See you later, guys. Yep.
For those of you that don't know, John's nickname for Kathy is the hook.
Yep, they give us the hook. They always leave us on the edge every season, every episode, wanting more, come back, wanting more. And don't forget, guys, if you can support or rejoin the membership on the YouTube, it's only $2 a week. If you think the podcasts are great and you enjoy the shows, you enjoy the group, it would be well appreciated. I thank you so much for the people that have been supporting. Also, with a like and a subscribe is free. I thank you so much, guys. Yup, Ashley. And they're looking for another well. As long as we got Carmen back, I wish he'd get his internet fixed so we can have him on. He's a great guy.
He is. He's my favorite.
And they're digging up a hidden well with a PVC pipe. No, I'm trying to.
The world is.
I'm trying to think of this now. If it's a hidden well, well, it can't be old because there's a PVC pipe in there.
Right. Yeah.
Or am I dreaming?
I don't think they had that way back then, John.
Did they have PVC pipes in the year 1420?
That would be quite a shock, wouldn't it?
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for coming in. We're about to button it up.
Good night, Kathy.
We're about to button it up, but this is all next week's preview. Judy will be on with me next Wednesday for the podcast at 6:45. Unbelievable. They leave us with these things. I just scratch my head more and more and more and more.
Tim says aliens put it there.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Judy, if you want to button it up, and I'll post her synopsis on Facebook and YouTube and Patreon. Everybody can read it, take their time. And if you want to button up tonight, Judy, then we'll get out of here.
All righty. Hey, everybody. It's sure been fun tonight. I thank you all for your encouragement. You guys are the best. I just love this family to pieces. Make sure you watch John next Tuesday night. Enjoy Oak Island. And I will see you next Wednesday night with my synopsis. And in the meantime, please stay safe, everybody. Please. You too, John.
Yep, I'll be talking to you later. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. It was a great show. And we always have fun, no matter what. But what do I always tell you guys? You guys should memorize this by now. You always go forward. You may get a setback in your life, but just believe in yourself. Believe in your dreams, no matter how old you are. For tomorrow is a never given, never. With this crazy world we live in, the world needs a ton of prayers by the millisecond. It's getting wild. I'm glad I grew up when I did. As my friend Jan always tells me, you got to be kind and keep smiling because you don't know what that other person's going through. You got to stay strong. You got to stay positive. You got to stay safe. Thank you for joining me and Judy tonight. I'll see you Tuesday pre-show at 6:45. Judy will be with me next Wednesday at 6:45 for the podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. Take care and bye-bye.
The podcast has ended. I hope you enjoyed the podcast tonight. I give you the most accurate information that I have through the best members, the best moderators, everybody that's involved in my group and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook Live. Thank you so much. See you guys soon. Take care and bye-bye.